free online visit, and find ED treatment at up to 95% less than brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
If you're serious about fishing, or if you fish just for fun, you need to check out Slowpoke Bait and Tackle, the PD's one-stop shop for everything you need to reel in the big one. They've got the best brands, including Mad Cats, Ugly Stick, Penn, and more. They've also got the largest selection of live and frozen bait lures and even customizable South Carolina-made boats like Warrior and Hartsville's own Fastcraft. Financing available. See Slowpoke for details. Looking for the perfect gift? Don't waste time driving to Florence or the beach. Shop local for the best selection and prices. They've got gift cards, a large selection of apparel and hats, and they're getting more in every week. Brands like Simply Southern, Haybo, Good Old Boys, Hook'em Boots and Bibs, Lucky 7 straw hats, and more. And it's not just fishing gear. They carry snacks, chicken bog seasoning, Lucas oil, and more. Visit them at 2256 Indian Branch Road in Darlington. Open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week. Check out slowpokebaitandtackle.com and follow them on Facebook for weekly giveaways.
Mark your calendars. The Cowboys are saddling up and heading our way. The BC Society and Community Broadcasters proudly present the 28th Annual Black Cowboy Rodeo. Save the date, May 24th. Get ready for heart-pounding rodeo action, family fun, and cowboy culture at its best.
Get ready for the Prince and Michael Jackson Ultimate Tribute, live one unforgettable night. The Purple Experience brings the legendary sound of Prince, and MJ, the illusion, reigns as the king of pop. It's all happening May 17th at Carolina Bank Field. Doors open at 5 p.m. and tickets are just $25. Let Dollar General and Pepsi give you the VIP experience. Visit a participating Dollar General store and scan the Pepsi display QR code for your chance to win 4 VIP tickets. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime Ultimate Tribute. This premiere, the alcohol enforcement team of the 3rd Judicial Circuit remind listeners to plan a safe and sober prom night. The choice is yours. This message is brought to you by the AET Law Enforcement Prevention Specialist and Deotis from the 3rd Judicial Circuit, funded by CFDA number 93.959.
Florence. Broadcasting from the Florence Toyota Studios, 96.3 ESPN Radio is WOLH Florence, a community broadcaster station. Welcome to South Carolina's premier tailgate show, Game Day in the Carolinas, broadcasting from the spacious tailgate of the Community Broadcasters Complex on the PD's 96.3 FM, Sumter's WDXY 105.9 FM, and on Facebook Live. Join Matt and Woody on the tailgate by calling 843-407-5812. And now, your party hosts, Woody Fagan and Matt Jordan.
And, well, I'm not going to do it this week.
I got to compliment you, too, by the way. We had a lot going on with the race last week. The new intro I like a lot.
I love it.
That's what I remember from NFL Today on CBS.
Yes.
I love that.
It is. It's like, you get in from, some people you get in from church or you get up on Sunday morning and you hear that and you're like, all right.
You'd see Irv and Phyllis George and
Jimmy the Greek.
Jimmy the Greek was there. And who was our...
and, of course, you are looking live at Brent Musburger.
And they'd have the blue and the red-looking robot figures that would run toward one another.
You know what we need now? And we need to talk to management about it. Maybe they can get us some old-school jackets.
The yellow ones, so the gold ones like they would wear?
Yeah, like the gold ones, and we can put the little Game Day in the Carolinas logo on it.
We got a guy that can do that. Yeah. I got a guy for that.
Where the eye is.
His name's Rob Weiland. Rob can do anything.
We could do this. This is great. But it is Game Day in the Carolinas. I'm Matt. He's Woody. And yes, we are coming on the air with some major development. We're not going to sit there and act like it's, a hurricane's coming. Like
when Marty came on, I got this special thing. I mean, going on and on. I'm thinking somebody's died or there's like a major accident somewhere.
We got major breaking news. Augusta National is burning down or something. I mean, that's what I was expecting.
I'm thinking we're at the level of 9/11 again or something. And he's telling me Nico is not coming back or Tennessee is separating. Sorry, that is not, it wasn't on my bingo card in the off season, I'll be honest, but it is not. It is not to that level of alert.
We've heard about the Friday afternoon news dump, for crying out loud. There's certain people that, are high up in this country that love to use it to put out most everybody likes to put out bad news on Friday. That's the way it goes. I was taught that when I was doing a few public relations classes, that you release any and all bad news at about 4:00 on Friday, so the papers don't have time to print it.
Yeah,
and nobody's got time to react it. But the 10 a.m. or I guess the 9:30 a.m. news dump this morning out of Tennessee, and I have to admit, yes, if you have not heard from the last 5 minutes, because there's some people that aren't fans of Marty and McGee.
Well, I didn't get particularly excited because I'd already been reading stuff on it. We talked about it before the show. Supposedly Tennessee found out about this in a kind of an odd way. They found out through another head coach at the D1 level, successful coach, that Nico's dad was shopping him.
Well, we can say who it is.
Yeah, he's Dan Lanning from Oregon.
Former Georgia offensive coordinator, now been at Oregon for 3 or 4 years.
He called up head coach over at Tennessee and said, hey, this guy's dad shopping him for places to land.
Yeah, I just got a weird phone call, man. Well, you don't do that just for, to be a good guy. Let's just put it that way. Let's take a phone call right out of the gate,
right out of the gate.
Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Matt and Woody.
Good morning, Miss Betty.
I want to tell you, I disagree with both of y'all about the announcement, because this guy was asking for $4 million.
Mm-hmm.
And for Tennessee to say, you're not getting it, I think that's major news, because I am proud of Tennessee.
We were just about to say that, Miss Betty.
I was, don't disagree. I just think the way he was announcing it sounded like it was some sort of major development or accident or something, that was panic worthy.
These two guys, Marty and McGee, that's the way they talk.
Yeah.
I listen to their show every Saturday. And they're not only on the radio, but they're on TV also.
Yeah, they're on the SEC network, which I basically pointed out before we went on the air. Hey, they're SEC guys. Of course, this is going to be gigantic for them. But it did kind of sound in a way like, hey, somebody may have gotten shot at Augusta or something like that.
Yeah,
the way they were acting.
I was expecting it to be an accident, because I saw him an interview with him yesterday on Morning at the Masters. And he was being interviewed. But and just to let you know, so you'll be proud of Wayne and Dave and the rest of the crew here, I asked for $4 million too this year, and they told me no. So just wanted you to know.
This money stuff with these college football players, they're asking too much as it is.
Oh, I agree.
And I think that if Congress or whoever's involved in this mess, if they don't stop it, it's going to get just like that black guy that was on Marty and McGee this morning. I like that guy because he makes plenty of sense. And if they don't put a level on this thing, it's going to get out of hand.
Well, it's already out of hand.
Go to the NFL.
The only problem I've got with it is we're talking about college sports.
Yeah.
I think Congress has a lot more pressing issues in front of them than what's going on in the state of college sports or football or anything like that. And furthermore, I don't recall of anything the government, no matter what party you're from, has ever touched that's made it better. Nothing. It's always gotten worse.
Okay, what are we going to do? Because we've had two of the, I could say Biden's one too. Last three presidents we've had are sports fans.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do when you get somebody in office that really just does not care about sports? And I'm talking about if this Save College Sports Act or whatever they're calling it goes through, and it's the president got to appoint the commissioner of college athletics. What's going to happen when you get a president who just does not care about sports?
Well, furthermore,
Matt, you got a point there, and I agree with you. But you know something? The NCAA is the one that started this darn mess.
I agree. I've said that all along.
Not giving kids nothing to eat. or else they'd be on probation. Now, that's stupid.
Well, I've said this for the longest time. We're in this mess because Mark Emmert, and I'm just going to I'm blame it on him. When he got his little bit of power, ain't no way, ain't no how. This is the same guy who walked, I think, I can't remember the representative's name, but when he went to in front of Congress that day, walked into a representative's office, shook his finger, and said, there is no way we are ever going to pay these kids.
That's a joke.
Yeah. And again, they could have been ahead of this. I know hindsight's 20/20, but they could have been ahead of this a long time ago, and they just didn't want to.
Matt, let me tell you what I think on this. If all the colleges would pay the same amount to everybody, they wouldn't have the portal, because every college is making it bigger for the kids to come play for them.
They're never going to pay the same amount. You can set that rule. When we didn't have any payments, we knew kids were getting payments.
Yeah.
We knew kids were getting cars, houses, family members getting cush jobs and things like that to get them certain places, and they did nothing about it. The enforcement was the problem.
Yes. Well, here's the other thing too. It's going to be collectively bargained.
Yep.
I have not seen a solution other than collective bargaining that's actually going to work.
Hang up and listen.
Okay. It's good to hear from you.
The show, though.
All right. Thank you, Miss Betty.
Have a good one.
You too.
Okay.
All right. Bye. But I don't know about you, but I think the congressional solution is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I think that actually makes it worse than what we got right now.
It makes it even worse when it's government-appointed director every 4 years.
Yeah.
Because with that comes either someone that doesn't give a rat's rear end about a sports in college and the state of that, or they introduce some sort of political issues,
and it's going to be
around it.
Here's what it's going to be. If this thing goes through, and again, this is regardless of party. I hate that we're having to talk politics, but this one's kind of got a gun to our head to make us do it. It's going to be one of their big cat donors.
Yep.
That probably don't give a damn, but maybe about college football or college basketball, and they're going to make sure that sport is like if you or I became president, we'd probably appoint Ken Ard as our. I'm just throwing around as an example as our. Head of the NCAA. Well, I mean, he's on the record. He don't give a damn about nothing but college football.
Yeah. But what you're saying is you're going to have someone that's predisposed to something.
Yes.
There's going to be no one that's neutral, and anybody that would come in with neutral and know whatever probably wouldn't give a rat's rear end about it.
Mm-hmm. And we could have the thing where the NCAA might not have a commissioner for 2 years because the party that doesn't hold the White House
won't approve
wants to be wants to pull their pants down and show that theirs are bigger.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming there's an approval process too, much like they're vetting members of cabinet, and that could be held up.
I heard the two words, advise and consent.
There you go. So it's there was a simple solution for this, I think. Well, it's not so simple, but a while back. But if you had addressed this stuff early and set up some form of tiered structure, payment, whatever, instead of just saying no and because I say so.
Right. And which was 90% of the NCAA rules. And we're finding out a lot of those. And I hate to say this, I'm kind of on Jeremy Pruitt's side, too, a little bit when it comes to his lawsuit against Tennessee sure is in the news a lot this week, isn't it? Because Jeremy Pruitt's now suing Tennessee and the NCAA.
He was my idiot of the week last week. I'm not on his side at all.
Well, what he did was wrong, but at the same time, I understand they're trying to Shanghai him too, because you can't do it to the players, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why. I'd be suing some of the players.
Wait a minute. You're getting paid millions of dollars to run a program. And let's just be honest, these college coaches are making a killing.
Oh, no, I agree.
A heck of a lot more than what they should be.
Yes.
So, yeah, he's the face of that. the buck stops with the guy at the top.
No,
It's always supposed to.
I don't disagree with you.
I don't find him at $100 million in injury, but no, he knowingly they participated in that.
But you know he's going to get money.
He'll get something to go away.
Yeah.
That's the only reason he shook the tree was because he knew something would fall out.
Yeah, that's about.
Now, if that's a whole nother political discussion as far as warrantless lawsuits, but we both know he'll shake that tree. A little bit of cash will fall out. It won't be $100 million.
Yeah.
He might get 10, but he'll go away.
Speaking of warrantless lawsuits, although there might be something to this Jalen Rashada lawsuit.
There could be, but I doubt it. Again, guy asking too much money.
The judge did say when he's talking about certain parts of the lawsuit can go forward. I can't find a way to not, or to disagree, and I'm paraphrasing, obviously. Can't find a way to disagree that even if it's fraudulent, a $13 million offer to a kid, is going to entice him to come. And I guess that's the basis of the defense now for the lawsuit, or for the Jalen Rashada's reasoning for the lawsuit is somebody at Florida told me I had $13 million waiting on me. Sorry, kid.
Well, it's like anything else in life. Did you get it in writing?
Yeah.
How many times have you had somebody back out on something they've told you they were going to do for you in life? I'm sorry.
What's today? Oh, yeah, it ends in Y.
Yeah. I've got a couple things on my plate right now. Talk about disappointing where I'm experiencing loss because of it. And I'm kind of powerless to do anything about it. So I have to kind of sit here and be a man about it and just suck it up and go on with my life.
Right.
$13 million you're fussing when you really have gotten on the field and not produced anything either. Has he even had a decent season since he's been gone?
Where is he now?
He was out west at one time. He went to Arizona State and didn't even have a cup of Gatorade with him, and I think he's gone from there.
Yeah, I know he started at Arizona State. I don't even know.
He can blame whatever he wants, but he hadn't produced on the field either way.
Yeah, he's not setting the world on fire.
No. But at the root of that's the same things at the root of this one with this quarterback from Tennessee.
Yeah.
A parent.
But
the dad was involved with the kid from Florida, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah, because he was the one that, if you believe there was a $13 million deal, which I guess the judge must believe it because he said it. If you believe there was a $13 million deal out for this kid, daddy has to and we don't talk about that much, but the sports version, have we ever come up with the name for the sports version of a state? Because this is what they are. A sports version of a stage parent. And
yeah, that's basically, I don't know what you'd call them.
For those of you who don't know what a stage parent is, first of all, consider yourself lucky.
Yeah.
But second of all, if you've ever seen Dance Moms or Here Comes Honey Boo Boo.
There you go.
Those are stage moms. The ones that get really catty and they yell at their kids and all that because
yelling at the coaches and the people supporting them and everything else.
Yeah, there's a sports equivalent of that where we've seen it.
Yep.
And it's ridiculous. And your kid is not a lottery ticket. Stop it.
It won't. It's human nature. You're always going to have that.
I know. And it's just so irritating to know that, because let's be honest. 18-year-old Matt, 18-year-old Woody, somebody threw $100,000 in front of our face. We're just going to smile and take it.
Yeah.
We don't care.
I don't know how the parents give advice to, kids in these situations this day. And I don't envy them for being in that role. I don't envy it at all.
You know what they've become? Some of these parents, they've become? The posse.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true.
It used to be, you'd have your hangers on. They'd be like, no, man, what are you doing? You can get $5 million if you do this.
Everybody thinks, when I hear that stage parent sports thing, it's always LeVar Ball.
LeVar Ball is a great
comes
example.
to mind. He's the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
So
there's plenty of them. Hell, I think what was it? Brian Bosworth's parents were kind of.
Were they? I didn't know.
I don't remember. I know that it said something about the parents.
Well, that Marinovich guy. didn't make
Todd
it. His
Marinovich.
dad and his folks for them were nuts as far as how they raised him.
Yeah. It's like,
and you saw him really explode. And he had all the ability in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, he was awesome.
For some people, mama and daddy can work out as an agent because they're probably kids of a lawyer or something like that. But, you get some of these people that come from certain socioeconomic backgrounds that have never seen this kind of money in their life.
Yeah.
The green eyes kind of roll in. But
people tend to get excited. But this thing with Nico is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's not a national tragedy, or we don't need to announce it as such, and that's kind of how it came on. Despite how they talk or how whatever, I just think that was a little nutty. But it will be interesting to see where he lands, or if he lands. Wouldn't it be interesting that he doesn't get a team this year at all?
You could see that because,
and it's too late to go to the draft now.
Well, you know what the funny thing is? I don't even think he's even eligible for the draft.
He might not be. Yeah, you're right. He might not be yet.
I didn't know. I learned something during that interview they had with Pete Thummel right before we went on the air. I didn't even know there were rules with the transfer portal.
Well, it doesn't appear to be any. I mean, with how many kids you're talking about who was it? One of the basketball players the other week that played on, was it Auburn's team? 25 years old?
Yeah. Oh, get ready for that.
I mean, good Lord.
You should already go ahead and make your peace with it.
We're seeing plenty of that in football already.
Well, we had a kid that had, 9 years?
8-9 years, a kid in Miami, I think it was.
Ridiculous. But, again, make your peace with it, kids, because unlimited eligibility is coming, because all they'll have to do, because somebody will sue eventually. And the rule will then become all you have to do is take one class to be, and just enough to be considered a student, and you can go play college football. So, but getting back to the Tennessee situation here for a minute, I got to applaud Tennessee. If they would have caved and given that kid money, that would have set a precedent.
Yeah, but here's what happens now. Because here's what it says in the article.
Mm-hmm.
Per ESPN sources, officials from Tennessee's collective have already begun reaching out to third parties tied to potential Io Malamiava replacements for 2025.
Yeah.
So now they're shopping other quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what's to say, too, that illegal contact is not going on with that? Because it can't all be just a portal quarterback.
You know what? Illegal contact is going on with every school.
I agree. And you got family members, trainers, dads, moms, whoever, all shopping Johnny.
That's all you got to do. I even thought there was a Cam Newton rule in place for the transfer portal in that, you don't talk to mommy and daddy, but the way I've been told the loophole is you go talk to the high school coach. When you're out recruiting, be like, how much would it take for little Jimmy to be unhappy? You talk to him and he goes, yeah, he's happy at good old State U and he's loving it there. Well, how much is it going to take to make little Jimmy unhappy at good old State U so he can jump in the transfer portal and come play for us?
Well, I mean, just like every other coach in a coaching search we see, job comes open at whatever all of a sudden all the coaches around that area that are doing really well get contract extensions and increases and raises.
Funny how that works.
They're saying one quarterback has already gotten more money from his school Friday after Tennessee's collective called the third-party officials tied to him. So Tennessee reached out to third-party officials for Johnny Star quarterback at the other university, and as a result, Johnny Star quarterback got a raise.
Yeah.
Because Nico decided to leave Tennessee. I mean, this thing has got ripples all through it.
Oh, no. The unintended consequences are great.
I mean, and it is interesting. Though this, again, is not Hindenburg crashing kind of tragic, it's still very interesting to see where this is going to go. Proud of Tennessee for saying, no, we're not playing that game. If he had come to them and said, I want more money, I need more money, and he's participating in practice, Daddy's not shopping him to other major universities.
Well, even if Daddy was.
Tennessee would have been more likely to be inclined to work something out.
Well, ain't that the whole thing? Ain't that the whole thing? If he just showed up to practice. Because now they're saying he didn't show up to practice all week, but then all of a sudden Friday became the last straw?
Yeah. And Daddy's shopping. And the coaches are calling to tell you, you're blindsided with that. I mean, that's the thing.
And that makes me question something. Because before we went to the phone call, I was going down this line. And I'm going to go down this line now. You know these coaches ain't doing this because they're a good guy.
Well, he's got reasons.
Yeah, of course he's got reasons. Of course he's got reasons. Why do you think he's got reasons? Well, because he's in a very competitive league. Yeah, Oregon won the Big Ten last year. But there's a whole bunch of teams that are ready to usurp them.
But here's what I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
How much more could he have wanted? He already had a deal, a historic contract, as they quote it, reported to be worth more than $8 million over the life of the contract, over the life of the deal.
So that's what?
How much more could he want?
That's $2 million a year.
He thinks he needs $4 million a year? And they finished ninth in the conference offensively last year? Which isn't all his fault, but he is leading the show.
Which it makes me wonder. It makes me wonder how much somebody's got to be reading those stats and going, hey, look at this. They were ninth in the conference last year.
He was the league's number 10 quarterback in passing yards per game.
Ouch.
10th.
In a 16-team. Well, yeah, it was a 16-team league last year.
Yeah.
So there were 6 quarterbacks that were worse than him.
Well, people were making a big deal over Lenore Sellers' deal.
Uh-huh.
What about this guy?
That's a good point. At least with Lenore's, you had a 9-win football team.
He produced. I think he was well over that completion yardage per game. Offensively, he played better than Iomami. I can't even say his name. Nico,
yeah. That guy.
I just think it's ridiculous. I think this is, again, a really, really bad.
This is horse flop.
What'd you call it? It's just a sign of things to come.
Yes.
I mean, we're already seeing in the basketball world, now that we got a national title winner, how many, did we have 24 hours before we started seeing this player offered $4 million, this player offered $7 million?
24 hours, dude.
It wasn't even 24 hours.
We had people in the transfer portal by the end of the second round.
Yep. But nobody publishing offers. I mean, you had guys that were getting, easy 6-7 mil supposedly that were being announced. I saw it all over the internet. And in schools and players I'd not even heard of.
We had guys that were in the transfer portal before. Now, I know it opens like the week after the conference championship games, but the fact that you can get in the transfer portal before bowl game, before your,
them being in the transfer portal doesn't surprise me because there's a limited window for those kids. They've got to make the decision in, within a few days. What surprised me was how quickly the portal opened. You saw these big announcements for these big multi-million-dollar deals. You can't tell me those things came organically after the portal opened. You had to have been in discussion before it opened.
This is where being a fan of European professional soccer has been to my advantage. I'll explain to you how it works in Europe because it works very similarly in the NCAA. These guys already know where they're going.
Yeah.
All right, let's say we get – all right, I'll go back to the January transfer window in Europe. 12/01, February 1st. Once the window closed, now we're getting close to the summer, the 90-day summer transfer window in Europe. On February the 2nd, agents are already negotiating with other clubs for players. How do I know this? Because it's going on with the team I cheer for right now. Every other day I'm reading such and such has talked to Real Madrid. Such and such has talked to Bayern Munich. These kids are doing the same thing. If you don't believe or if you think what Dan Lanning did is a one-off. It's not. Somebody, and that's why the football coach, the high school coach, comes back into play, because it's exactly like I said a minute ago. You're out recruiting a couple of players, so you got that relationship with that high school coach. You're still going to go, hey, what's it going to take for Johnny to come to our school? I know he's tearing it up over here, but you're kind of close with his parents.
Yeah.
And if you don't think there is at least one assistant coach whose job it is to specifically do that, well, you know what? I got some beachfront property in Kansas I'd like to sell you. I guarantee you every Major Four program, one of their assistants, that is their specific job. So, again, this is, I don't even know how to put this. There's a lot that needs to be addressed. There's a lot that needs to be negotiated. There is a lot that we need to get to. And this is why I say we need to stop comparing this to professional sports, Woody.
Yeah, at least they have rules.
Yeah, professional sports has a structure. Because Ezekiel Elliott can't sit there and play 4 games with the Dallas Cowboys or wherever he is now, but I'm going to use them as an example. And if they go 0-4, he can't just say, screw it, I'm gone, and expect to make money.
I don't understand what changed in the contract, because anywhere else he goes, he's going to be getting about $2 million. But now that they've parted ways with him, he's got nothing.
Well,
how'd that work for you?
And yes, there's going to be one person that goes, well, you know, they have holdouts in professional sports too. Yeah, but a guy that's like in the second year of a 4-year contract ain't holding out.
You know, I think it was on the Oprah Winfrey show, but she was interviewing Michael Jordan, and I do remember this. It was, and I saw a brief clip of it this week. That's why it reminded me of it. And I think she questioned him about what they're paying, you know, young players at that time, you know, coming into the league as an NBA player, you know, like a LeBron.
Yeah.
You know, guys come run out of high school and all, with not a lot of track, even out of college. And Jordan said that a lot of that money, you know, with guys like him and Barkley, a big guy, Pat, they played for Georgetown.
Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing and others had a brand. They had proven skills, performance.
Yeah, Michael Jordan wasn't a billionaire in 1986.
Yeah, he thought it was, you know, and then these big shoe companies come to him and offer them big money, but they had a brand by that time. They had numbers. They had data. They had performance on the court to substantiate it. Nowadays, he said what makes it dangerous is these kids are getting that kind of money, and they've not done anything. Well, you got 2 kids right now that are brothers playing. I've got their names. I've got it on a email over here I saved. One brother's playing in college right now, playing basketball. He's getting like $3 million a year. His brother's in the NBA making just over $500,000.
Makes you not want to go to the NBA.
I mean, something's not right here.
But I've said that all along. You know, if we go back, how long have we had NIL now? 5 years, 6 years?
Has it been that long?
Yeah.
I guess it has been, yeah.
I think it was supposed to be introduced in 2020, but, you know, we're all trying to forget that fever dream of a year. I remember sitting here going, when the train was leaving the tracks, I remember this, it was like a couple of states. I know California was one, but there was another state too that was talking about they're going to require their state universities to start allowing the athletes to make money. I remember California, but I want to say it was like Florida or something. Anyways, that's beyond the point. I remember sitting here going, there is no way that Goodell, there is no way that Adam Silver would ever allow a college student to make more money than they would when they went pro. And And that didn't even take 6 months.
Yeah.
And I remember us sitting here at the beginning of this going, hey, such and such is going to make $2 million a year. Oh, that's hilarious. Nobody's ever going to make $2 million. That's got to be a typo.
Mm-hmm. Everybody poo-pooed that and laughed at it. It would never become the arms race that it's becoming now.
It's funny to me. I'm so done with trying to say, oh, this is absurd. Because today's absurdity is tomorrow's reality. And that's why now I've already made my peace with unlimited eligibility. I've made my peace with the fact that we are going to have a college football or college basketball or hell's bells, a college baseball player play at 4 schools in 4 years. It's already got to make your peace with it. It's going to happen, people. And you can sit here and you can yell and you can scream and you can cuss about it all you want, but it's going to happen. That's just the law of the land right now.
Mm-hmm.
Until we get some kind, and this is where I'll wrap it up, put it in a bow so we can go to break. Until we get some kind of collective bargaining where they have to give up certain things to get certain things, it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
And Congress can sit there and save college sports, protect the Coach Act or whatever you want to call it. You ain't doing no favors to them. What you're planning is worse.
Yeah. And you bring government into it.
Yeah.
AKA Congress. And it's over. I mean, you might as well just go put a fork in it.
Some of the asinine things that I've seen in this. Coaches' salaries can't exceed 10 times the value of cost of tuition. What? Huh? What are you smoking? I don't know a college coach that ain't making that hadn't even hit that limit.
Yeah.
Not when you got schools that are $200,000, $300,000 or $100,000 a year.
I'm not surprised this happened.
No, I'm not.
I expected this the whole time. It's going to get even more bizarre than this. We probably have missed out on a few other little gems that, went under the radar. It just happens that this is a little bit more high profile case.
Oh, I guarantee. Yeah. I guarantee you this is because Iowa's lost their quarterback.
Yep.
He's in the portal.
Well, he should go to Iowa. They're known for offense.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, God, I would kill this for that. How much do you think Iowa would have to pay for him?
At least $2 million. He's not happy with a current deal where he's already getting that.
Apparently, at least $4 million.
Yeah, that's just crazy. I still don't for that type of production. And you think you're worth all that? I mean,
I don't know either. I just don't know.
I'm dumbfounded by it to a degree.
I am too. But again, I'm happy to see at least one coach. I'm gonna say 2, because Shane Beamer did it during the bowl game. 2 coaches that are finally saying enough is enough. I got enough on my plate as it is, and now I got to deal with this garbage. And you wonder what? Go ahead.
I was going to say Georgia. But he'd have a problem with being able to play. I don't think he could transfer in the same conference. He's going to have to go out of the conference.
Yeah, he's got to go. Yeah, apparently there's some rule that says if you get in the spring transfer portal, you can't stay in conference.
That's right.
You can't transfer.
He's going to have to go
conference.
out.
I didn't even know that was a rule. All right, then. We got somewhere this morning. All right. Happy news, by the way. We're going to make the show a little happy. The Watermelon Man.
Yeah, we're going to have him on.
Ross Chastain is going to join us at 10:55 this morning. So we will have him coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll be back on Game Day in the Carolinas.
At Practical Purpose Solutions, your health and wellness is their priority. Need a quick and convenient solution? Book your telehealth visit today, all from the comfort of your home. Need a DOT physical or sports physical? They are perfect for parents looking to avoid long wait times. If you're looking for quality primary care, insured or uninsured, and with a reliable physician, contact them. Feeling run down? Their concierge hydration service comes to you within 30 miles. Groups are welcome. Whether you're battling fatigue, cold symptoms, or if you just need an energy boost. Even personalized nutrition plans and supplements for skin conditions like eczema and dry skin. Try their medically supervised fat dissolving services for targeted areas like the abdomen or chin. Ready to feel your best? Book your appointment today at practicalpurposesolutions.com or call 843-799-2210. Located at 2011 Second Loop Road, Suite A. Practical Purpose Solutions.
Hey, it's Tony Zach with Mr. Sparky. Our team is available 24/7. We stand ready to help you with any of your electrical emergencies or your electrical upgrades. We install generators, surge protection, help troubleshoot electrical issues, and much more. Our technicians are drug tested and background checked for your safety. Call us or book online. Mr. Sparky, we'll be right over.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Need a tough truck for an unbeatable deal? Right now at Florence Toyota, lease a 2025 Toyota Tacoma for just $325 a month or 2.99% APR. No money down, just $33.94 due at signing. Plus, get $1,500 Tacoma loyalty cash if you qualify. But hurry, this deal ends April 30th. Visit Florence Toyota at 2300 West Palmetto Street in Florence or online at florencetoyota.com. Florence Toyota, just better. See dealer for details.
I'm here with Coach Carter, who just won a game against their biggest rivals. Tell us how you're feeling, Coach.
I'm feeling great. This was a huge win for us tonight, and we couldn't have done it without every single member of the team. It's kind of like FTC's roster of services. Now there's a winning lineup. From internet and wireless to phone, security, and TV, these team players all play a critical role in making FTC your all-in-one technology company.
Now that sounds like a winning combination.
Get in the game with FTC, your all-in-one technology company. Stop by a local FTC store or visit ftc.net.
Hello, everybody. This is Donnie Daniel with Daniel Wealth Management. Who is Daniel Wealth Management? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about us. At Daniel Wealth Management, we care and listen. We strive to protect, manage, and grow your future vision of life. We do this with character, integrity, and confidence as we seek to earn your trust and celebrate life's journeys together.
Securities and investment and advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth.
When car trouble strikes, remember Tim's Auto Pro is here to make your life easier. They offer complete preventative maintenance and full automotive repair on most makes and models, including imports, at rates that won't break the bank. Is your AC on the fritz? They can service it. Need a front end alignment? They got you covered. Tire pressures monitoring system acting up? Go see them. When life gets busy and car trouble strikes, remember Tim's Auto Pro, the only place to go. 2685 Peach Orchard Road in Dalzell. Online at timsautopro.com.
This is Robbie Nally from CRW Insurance. Let's face it, insurance needs are typically not on your mind until the loss occurs. Don't wait for that severe storm or auto accident to determine if you have the right coverage. Let us help you prepare today for tomorrow's unexpected. Simply call 803-775-1168 or stop by our Sumter location at 25 East Calhoun Street or our Manning location at 117 South Brook Street to discuss and review your current insurance needs.
Voted most likely to annoy. Game Day in the Carolinas.
Don't rock the jukebox. Wanna hear some Jones? 'Cause my heart ain't ready.
Oh, no, my heart ain't ready for the Rolling Stones.
I don't feel like
We don't sing on this show.
Well, we do. I just
Okay.
wasn't motivated to sing that one, so.
Daddy doesn't sing. Game Day in the Carolinas, 843-407-5812. We're going to have Ross Chastain at the top of the hour to give us his thoughts on Darlington last week and anything else
Yeah.
he wants to talk about.
Got some good questions for him, I think.
Mm-hmm. That we do. We talked about the quarterback situation now at Tennessee. South Carolina's spring game was this week, right?
Yes.
Yes. It's today. actually.
Mm-hmm.
What do you? I was going to ask you last week when it came to Clemson's spring game, what you were looking for.
I did not see any of it. I'll have to go back and watch it.
You can't.
That's right. That if you weren't there, you can't see it.
It
You
wasn't
can't
on
watch
TV
it anymore. That's right.
It wasn't on TV. What are you looking for today when it comes to South Carolina's spring game?
Nothing. Spring games are nothing. It's just a chance to showcase a scrimmage. This is what we got. This is what we're going to look like. But if I were looking to try to gain any type of analysis out of this, I'd kind of want to see how the line moves.
Yeah, I could see that.
The O-line's been plaguing that team for a long time. And, the receivers are always in question, but I think the receiver class is probably one of the better ones they've had in a while. I'd like to see, number one, if we see a little bit of sellers to sellers matchup.
Now,
kind of give you an idea where they're at.
Now, I loved Shane this week when he was doing it, talking about, we haven't seen a depth chart yet. He's mocking people that are like killing him for not having a depth chart and then making up things because he's like, Jaden Sellers didn't practice this week because he was sick.
Yeah. Well, who's running the other offense too? I would assume it would be, yeah.
That I think for me, as far as the Gamecocks go, that's what I want to see. Who looks better as Lenoris's backup?
Yeah,
because they've got some good talent behind Lenoris.
Oh yeah, the running back that was brought in from Utah State looks like an absolute beast physically. Yeah. Now, where does it go behind him?
Right.
You got a couple of the pieces and parts, but
so that begs a question for me. Why are we doing inter squad scrimmaging for the spring game?
Beats me. The fact that the other one was turned down by the NCAA, surprise, they do something, they keep continuing their boneheaded ways. The only reason I think the NCAA turned it down was probably because they had not figured out a way to monetize it. There was no contract in place.
It's really strange because, we all the time, and I know we've brought this up on several occasions, we're always talking about how we hate directional U week 1 and week 2, week 3. Because basically the first couple weeks of the season, let's be honest, is glorified scrimmage games.
Not even that good unless the conferences, the 4-letter networks, the 3-letter networks force 2 big teams to play.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A kickoff.
Or take 2 teams to Ireland.
Yeah. But you're right. And so I'm trying to figure out for the life of me, you tell these schools that they participate under the NCAA umbrella. They're also part of a conference. They can run these programs how they want so long as they follow the rules. Well, they're following rules.
Mm-hmm.
And they suggest a preseason scrimmage between, what was it, Colorado and who was the
Syracuse.
other school? And Syracuse. You can't do it. Why? It makes no sense. Why?
And again, this is what we have to overcome. A NCAA system that is still in very, very many ways antiquated.
Well, again, there was no contract in place for who would cover it from a broadcasting standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know if it'd be on any channel or a channel or just streamed. Nothing was, so they couldn't make money off of it. That's why the NCAA said no.
Let me ask you this way. If Syracuse wanted to scrimmage Vanderbilt.
No.
You don't think it would happen?
No.
Although both of them are under contract with ESPN?
No. I mean, well, you're probably right.
Yeah.
If they're both under contract with one network, then yeah, they probably would have played. NCAA would have been okay because that's who's at the end of the day. Let's be honest.
ESPN would have been
really pulling the strings with all of this.
Oh, ESPN.
It's not the NCAA.
Oh, ESPN would have been in there going, all right, how much is it going to take for you to say yes? And Fox is, and believe me, I'm gonna use an internet argument here, but Fox is just as bad.
There you go. Absolutely. If they could figure out a way to monetize it, they would.
Yeah,
and they could have very easily. There was nothing in place.
If it was a Big Ten team, let's say Dion wanted to scrimmage Iowa or Nebraska. You know, the old Colorado-Nebraska rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
Put that in the spring. Fox would have walked in with both teams and go, all right, NCAA, how much is it going to take for you to say yes? You mean you can't? What bothers me is, and I know ESPN would love this, because now we're in an era of, I don't want my spring game on TV because somebody might be watching it waiting to poach my players. I'm so tired. That's why I applauded Shane Beamer 2 weeks ago when he came out and basically ruthlessly mocked teams that did that. Beamer came out and said, we know they're looking at us. We don't give a damn. That should be the weekend you should, and I'll go back to this because we have thrown this out 100 million times on this show, and I know people are probably tired of hearing it. That should be the weekend where you go find an in-state team. And I'm talking about the spring game. An in-state team. And it can be a 1AA team. It can be even a D2 team. Doesn't count against you. It's just an exhibition game. As long as you keep the money in state. Why can't Clemson go play Wofford? Why can't Clemson play Coastal Carolina?
Well, I did a little search just because I had to see what kind of BS excuses, and this is according to SI. The FBS Oversight Committee are the ones that denied the waiver request.
Oh, boy.
The waiver requested also proposed contact and non-contact practice sessions between the Buffaloes and the Orange and the 2025 spring practice period. The two main areas of concern. Here's the quote. Number one, the timing of the request, noting most institutions have already planned their spring practice periods, and some are at the end of or have completed their spring practice period, the NCAA said. Translation, you're gaining an advantage because you're having an inter-squad scrimmage with another team.
May I remind people of something? Now, again, I know 2020 was a fever dream. All right, I understand. A lot of people are going to go, well, 2020, we can't really make that. May I point something out? Woody?
Yes.
How long did it take for Coastal Carolina and BYU to put that game together?
I don't know.
Wasn't 3 years.
It was like 30 minutes.
It was 3 days.
Yeah, it was that. It felt like 30 minutes. The second reason you're going to find even more laughable, the competitive and recruiting advantage gained by the applicant institutions if a waiver was approved to allow these institutions to engage in activities no other institutions are permitted to do. And here's the laughable part, the potential academic impact associated with student athletes missing class time to participate in spring activities. Are you freaking kidding me?
I know you don't like this, but I'm going to quote the show that goes on before us.
Yeah. But the committee agreed to further discussions in the future that could ultimately lead to joint spring practices in the future.
Okay.
I'm at a loss for words, but not surprised.
So football. Football. Hang with me here, Woody, because I may blow your mind on this.
I'm at the end of my rope.
My mind is already blown by this. So you're telling me that football can't do this because it interferes with academics, right?
Right.
But UCLA's volleyball team on a Tuesday night has to get on a plane and go to Rutgers, New Jersey.
That's right.
To play a volleyball game. And that's perfectly, and that doesn't hurt their academics.
Well, just think of what you just saw. How much traveling of basketball programs, men's and women's, done in the last week? Couple weeks now. How much academic class, how many classes have they missed?
Do you know that
we're talking about one scrimmage.
Stanford and Cal literally circumnavigated the globe.
Yeah.
In that. Let's take a break real quick. I know we got somebody on the line that might be Ross Chastain. So we're going to take a break here.
Yep.
And come back, and we'll talk to you on the other side. Stay close.
Are you feeling run down? Struggling to keep up with life's demands? At Practical Purpose Solutions, they're here to help you reset, physically and mentally. Kendra Robinson, family nurse practitioner, and her amazing staff specialize in nutrient infusion therapy, designed to restore your energy and health with up to 100% vitamin absorption. Whether you're battling fatigue, post-cold symptoms, anxiety, or depression, or just need the energy boost, they have the perfect IV infusion for you. From sports recovery to immune support, GI and respiratory recovery, jet lag relief, and even post-surgery aid, their infusions are customized for your specific needs. Or are you looking to enhance your beauty routine, relax and rejuvenate in as little as 45 to 60 minutes? They offer concierge services as well. At Practical Purpose Solutions, book your appointment today at practicalpurposesolutions.com or call 843-799-2210. They're conveniently located at 2011 Second Loop Road, Suite A. Practical Purpose Solutions, where vitality meets convenience.
This is Robbie Nally from CRW Insurance. Let's face it, insurance needs are typically not on your mind until the loss occurs. Don't wait for that severe storm or auto accident to determine if you have the right coverage. Let us help you prepare today for tomorrow's unexpected. Simply call 803-775-1168 or stop by our Sumter location at 25 East Calhoun Street or our Manning location at 117 South Brook Street to discuss and review your current insurance needs.
In the heart of South Carolina, where the spirit of celebration thrives, there's a place unlike any other. Mickey Finn's your one-stop party destination with 3 locations, Cashua Drive, Pamplico Highway, and their huge beverage warehouse on Dr. Johnny Bruce Road next to Buc-ee's. Step into a world of endless possibilities where the shelves are filled with the largest selection of beer, wine, and liquor, each bottle carrying its own story of flavor and enjoyment. Sign up today for Mickey Finn's customer rewards. Mickey Finn says, we drink all we can and sell the rest.
Nothing says tradition like your hometown Piggly Wiggly. Take it from the pig. When it comes to value and freshness, you can't beat Piggly Wiggly. They've been bringing home the bacon for millions of American families for over 100 years. Today, they're one of the best known and best loved brands in America. Stop by your local Piggly Wiggly today and take home the freshest meats, vegetables, and produce, along with great deals on all your favorite brands. Each week, the pig features new specials, perfect for your tailgating parties and family mealtime.
Just around the corner is the 8th Annual South Carolina Bridal Showcase, sponsored by Community Broadcasters and River's Edge Wedding Venue. Sunday, April 27th at the Florence Center in Florence, South Carolina. Get your tickets today. It will be another one-stop shop extravaganza at the largest bridal showcase in South Carolina. And you'll experience a packed venue of bridal show vendors, including fashion shows, demonstrations, door prizes. Experience the famous Monster Cake Dive, sponsored by Icing Ink Bakery and Dessert Bar. Get your tickets now at a pre-show discount. Go to scbridalshowcase.com and get your tickets today and save. For vendor space info, go to scbridalshowcase.com/sponsorships. Remember, Sunday, the 27th of April, the South Carolina Bridal Showcase at the Florence Center. Get your discounted tickets at scbridalshowcase.com. That's scbridalshowcase.com. Sunday, April 27th. No children under 12 allowed.
South Carolina listeners from the Midlands and the PD have saved thousands of dollars on products and services provided by local businesses at carolinasaves.com. 100% of every item on carolinasaves.com is at least 50% off. There's restaurants, health and beauty products, entertainment items, and so much more. It's worth it to check out the website and bookmark it on your device because new items are added every week. Every day, listeners save cash at carolinasaves.com. Go there now, carolinasaves.com.
They're like Elon Musk. Well, they're human. Gameday in the Carolinas.
I'm throwing in music.
That was perfect.
I'm throwing in new music right now. It's Gameday in the Carolinas. I'm Matt. He's Woody. And the phone number 843-407-5812. But for right now, we ask that you refrain from phone calling because we got Ross Chastain sitting on the line ready to go. Good morning, sir. How are you? Uh-oh.
Good morning, guys. I'm good.
Good. Thank you for joining us this morning. Wanted to give you we weren't able to hook up last week while you were in town, and we really appreciate you making time for us today because we know you're in the middle of preparing for another race and a really tough track, too, also, I think, because of the size constraints. We're at Bristol this coming weekend. But walking away from Darlington, how do you feel?
I feel pretty good. I mean, look, we're knocking on the door of the top 5 and putting ourselves inside the 6th to 10th place range pretty regular. So I feel like that with a few, for last week, the caution with the 6-car lug nut, if that doesn't fall, if that caution doesn't come out, then I think we've got a better shot to be up there earlier in the race. And we worked our way up there, though, and were able to pass some cars. And, I feel like I feel good on the doorstep of great, I think.
Yeah, and you're right. That was going to be one of my questions I had for you, because I was looking at your numbers and all that, and there's an old baseball term that you use that, see a guy that's normally a good hitter is out there participating well, and, the last couple at-bats have been tough. They would always say, hey, dude, you're due. You're due one, and you're with the numbers you're putting up and the placements that you've had and finishes, you're due. What is there anything in your career that you've seen that maybe that spark, or maybe the thing that precipitates that or starts it rolling?
Speed in a race car. I feel like that's what it comes back to, and we've got that good enough right now to be in. I can see the leader now to go up there and be the outright leader of the race and try to win. That's one more step away, and that's the hardest part. That's the hardest step in the garage.
Yeah, I guess the fact you're in the lineup, you're in the running, you can see the leader. Yeah, I guess that would make sense too. So sorry if it was a bit of a dumb question, but it just seems like there's always got to be something. There's these guys are all superstitious about certain things they do, and that's kind of why I asked that question. Now, a personal question that showed up that I wanted to ask about. You've got several teammates, but one in particular. Is Shane Van Gisbergen like an adrenaline junkie of some sort? Because he comes across to me that way, being the supercar background. I mean, that seems like a crazy style of racing, because there's some ramps or jumps and all that type of racing too, isn't there?
I don't know about all that, but I mean, look, he's a Red Bull driver, so he definitely has a need for speed and a need for the adrenaline. And he doesn't sit still very often, that's for sure. Yeah. So it's been really nice to have him come in and with a kind of a fresh outlook. He comes from the other side of the world, and they definitely do things different over there. And he's brought ideas and ways of thinking to Trackhouse that we have to kind of adapt them to Cup racing. But it's been good. I wouldn't want to be racing against him. I know that he's figuring out these ovals, and we obviously know the ability on the road courses.
Yeah, well, you're an intense competitor too. I don't think I'd want to be racing against you either. So, no offense to that, but I admire the way you drive the car. I like to see that. So, with that being said, is there someone that you maybe model your style after? Maybe another driver, historically, maybe you looked up to. I mean, driver I've always looked up to, because he just seemed he could get a wreck across that line because he just drove hard, was Cale Yarborough. I mean, he pulled a lot out of a car. Do you have anyone you particularly model your style after?
Not intentionally. I've watched old videos of a lot of racing in my life. I'm just a fan of the sport, so some YouTube rabbit holes that I've went down, and man, you find some cool old footage. But I naturally drive. Growing up, I started racing on a 3/8 mile, relatively flat oval, a little asphalt track down in Southwest Florida in Punta Gorda, and the drivers that were racing at that time there wasn't many clean races. It was the late model division. Or when I started was some, if you had a faster car, you went on by, you didn't think twice about it, and the guy in front didn't care as much as some care these days. He just went and worked on his car and got it better, and he returned the favor next week or later in the race if his tires held on better. So that's what I grew up racing, was if you were faster, you just went on by and no one thought twice about it. And if there was contact, there was. And I had plenty of times my back bumper was torn up as a kid when we weren't as fast. I didn't win a ton of races growing up. So I'd say just what molded me was my dad and the local drivers that I grew up watching and raced against when I was a teenager.
We're talking with Ross Chastain here, and Ross, I got to know this. We asked Josh Harris this question last week, so I'm going to ask you as well. I know y'all are a lot more busy than Josh was being the president of the racetrack, but when it comes to the throwback weekend, do y'all even look at the other paint schemes in the car and go, or what were they thinking, or something like, or this is cool? Like, y'all ever do that?
I'll be honest, I don't even look at my own car. Just to be honest with you, I'm inside the car. I can't see a single bit of the paint scheme when I'm driving it. I don't, the way we sit in the cars now, I can maybe see the color of the hood, but I can't see it really. So I could just see some reflection off of it. So, that's up for Trackhouse and our partners. They do all that, and they steer the ship on what my car looks like and stuff. When I got to the Cup Series in 2021 and I signed with Chip Ganassi Racing, we had a lot of conversations ahead of that first year, my first full-time year in Cup, and one of them that stuck with me was Doug Ducard and Chip. The messaging and the words to me were, go be a race car driver. You don't have to be a businessman anymore as far as raising the sponsorship and always worrying about the money. And I took that to heart because it had been over a decade of just agonizing over and just trying to figure out where the next sponsor was going to be, who it was going to be, and worried and working on that. And they told me they had people for that, and Trackhouse has done the same. So I have a great relationship with my partners and all of our sponsors, but I'm not the one deciding throwbacks or paint schemes and color designs like I used to be. And it's nice. It's what I wanted to get to, where I've got people that's their specialty. That is what they are good at, and a lot better than I ever was. They come up with a lot better designs, and I think our cars are some of the best looking ones, even if we don't have a throwback.
Yeah, I'd say this year's throwbacks I thought were at Darlington were some of the best I've seen in a while.
Absolutely.
We were really tickled with all of them. So, as far as that goes with your schedule, you've got a lot of sponsors and things like that. Is there anything about that? Well, how can I put this in a better way? How much of a demand do you find yourself between the track time and time in the garage, working with your crew, to fine tune a car versus having to go out and shake the corporate sponsors' hands? Would you say that it's gotten worse as far as more time you're having to spend away from the garage, or do you feel like you're able to spend what you want to trying to get a car set up?
It's what I want.
Okay.
And they let me customize and pick my schedule
okay.
Based on how I think is best and what's going to help me the most on Sunday. Over everything, you have to go fast on Sunday.
Yep.
And nothing else matters if that doesn't happen. So with that in mind, I build out my calendar, and I've got several people involved with technology these days. The Apple calendar, I've got a lot of influence in scheduling things and double checking that we don't double book me and my time and what we're doing. So, for example, right, this week on Thursday, the Trackhouse drivers, we took off to Columbus, Ohio, and went and spent the day with Wendy's. That's not an every week thing. That's the first time that I've been up to their test kitchen and tried out some of their new Frosties and tried my hand at making my own. I'm going to leave that to the experts, but it's that was a day away from the race shop and the prep for Bristol, but it's well worth it. And so back and ready to go this weekend. We just adjusted the week so that I got everything done by Wednesday and took off Thursday, and then over here yesterday. Got to watch the truck race last night, and then it's our turn for practice and qualifying today.
Okay. Anything new with the track this year you feel like? Something, maybe a new trick you've learned or something you picked up?
Same old Bristol to me. We'll see how the PJ1, the spray traction compound, feels around the bottom and adapt with that today and tomorrow. It'll change a lot. So no preconceived ideas here. Just try to work off the notebook from years past and there's definitely small changes that I'm have in mind for my driving, gas, brake, steering, but it's mostly a reaction to how the car feels.
Okay. And we're talking to Ross Chastain here, and something else I got to know about Bristol. When they told y'all that the dirt race was going away, not to get anybody in trouble or anything, but was there a little bit of a sigh of relief that, hey, the dirt race is gone now, or what was the chatter amongst y'all when they finally said, "Hey, this ain't working"?
I can only speak for myself, but I don't really care what surface we race on, where it is. Just tell me when.
Yeah, I like that.
I need to be there and what we're doing.
Yeah.
What are we racing on, and try to be as prepared. Give us the time to prepare. But I don't really care what it is. Just dirt, asphalt, concrete, don't matter. We could turn around and run it backwards for all I care. Just give me a heads up and let me prepare, and then let me go race.
That's a perfect race car driver answer.
I
right
like
there.
that answer. Yeah, that's great. Well, listen, you've got a program you're sponsoring called Use Your Melon. Could you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's a part of a large several states that I work with, and it's a real simple message of protect your melon. It just reminds you to buckle your seatbelt. It's something that we all know we should do. We've seen the data. People have been telling us for years, decades now, and I see it in racing. And I know that I wouldn't have walked away from several of my crashes if the seatbelts weren't how they are. There's 9 seatbelts inside the race car. So we've got that. And then Use Your Melon is a similar program, but it's just trying to remind people to make the right decisions, to not be impaired, right? If we're going to have a bush light, let's have a ride home. Let's have a Uber or Lyft or some rideshare app, have somebody be in the DD, just have a plan ahead of time. And then I drink beer. I like beer. Clearly, I'm the bush light guy, but I have a plan. And then the distracted part. There's so many things that can distract us, and with technology and smartphones being top of mind, I'm talking to you on my iPhone. When I'm in my Chevy pickup, to drive over to the racetrack here in a little bit, my phone's going to ding. It's going to happen. Somebody's going to text me, call me, something, and just waiting until I get there to look at it. Just not looking down away from my phone and using my melon to get there safe. Mm-hmm. And for Tennessee, we spent some time at 2 high schools yesterday, just trying to remind the kids that they're going to have a lot of opportunity to make a lot of decisions in their life as they come out of high school, and even right now in school, but definitely when they graduate and go out in the world, to just try to remind them to make the right decisions. If we can affect one life, then it's all worth it.
Yeah.
Sounds like they need to be doing that at the campus of the University of Georgia.
We need to be blasting it everywhere right now, because everywhere I drive on the streets here, somebody's got that phone up, and you could tell they're distracted driving because they're weaving. You think they're drunk, but they're holding the phone up.
I call it the cell phone weave.
Yeah. Now, Ross, I'm going to give you one last question, and I'm not try not to aggravate you too bad, but a lot of folks don't know, with the Use Your Melon, there's a direct reference to your background coming from a watermelon farm basically in Florida. My granddad was a farmer too, and he grew one of his big prize fields he always grew kind of as a pet peeve. He liked sweet fruits and things, and he grew a good bit of watermelon. So I've got to know, what's your favorite type of watermelon? Which one do you find the sweetest? Because he would grow rattlesnake, Charleston Grays. I think he called another one an icebox.
Yeah.
What's your particular favorite?
Yeah. So, there's a lot of those legacy names that I would put up against any of the new ones. We're always working with seed companies and seeing what's the next variety that's gonna grow the best fruit for what we're doing. So it's growing 400 acres down in South Florida. That's a high volume, a lot of watermelons, and we need them to be able to get from the field to someone's house via a chain store, grocery store. So, the latest thing that I see a lot of potential in, a company called Enzazad makes it. It's called Blackjack. So it's got a cool name right off the bat.
Okay.
And it seems to be a good watermelon. It's got enough rind in it, the outer shell, the green, that it travels well when it bounces up the road in a semi to come to your local store. And when you cut it open, it's there's a lot of flavor, juicy, and just the kind of watermelon that I'm looking for. So it's called Blackjack.
Well, I will look for that. I appreciate it very much. My granddad had it down to the science. I'm sure you do too. He put his do that thump on there, and he could tell you if it was good or not, if it was sweet, if it was ready. I mean, he was a master at it. So I enjoyed spent a lot of time out in the fields with him growing up. So we appreciate your time, Ross, and we hoping for a good race for you tomorrow. want to see you take that crown home, and it'll be a tough race. There's always bumper to bumper there, or door to door at Bristol too. Yeah. But thank you again for your time.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ross.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you. 843-407-5812 is the number. Big thank you to Ross Chastain for coming on. Yeah.
I think we totally annoyed him though, but
Annoyed? No, we don't annoy people. We just,
I don't know.
We ask questions that are outside the box.
Definitely.
I mean, because I've always wanted to know that about the drivers. Do they even have time to look at anybody else's paint scheme and go, oh, that's kind of cool?
Yeah. I'm always interested in their schedule because it seems like with all the sponsorships and all that, how would you have time to practice, get ready to drive a car?
We forgot to ask him one question.
Yep.
The big question when it came to Wendy's.
Uh-oh.
Do the fries go in the Frosty?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
If they don't, we need to have I bet they do.
It's a national law, by the way. It should be a law.
Yeah.
Fries go in the Frosty.
He probably just told his PR person, don't ever book me on this show again. I'm sorry, Ross.
Well, you never know.
I'll see you at Darlington next year. I'll apologize.
In
person.
We still got September to go.
See
him in September.
That's coming up.
See him in September. And there's no Xfinity race. Maybe he loved it so much he'll be back on.
Yeah.
You never know. We'll reach out and see. Come September. Coming up, your phone calls.
At Practical Purpose Solutions, your health and wellness is their priority. Need a quick and convenient solution? Book your telehealth visit today, all from the comfort of your home. Need a DOT physical or sports physical? They are perfect for parents looking to avoid long wait times. If you're looking for quality primary care, insured or uninsured, and with a reliable physician, contact them. Feeling run down? Their concierge hydration service comes to you within 30 miles. Groups are welcome. Whether you're battling fatigue, cold symptoms, or if you just need an energy boost. Even personalized nutrition plans and supplements for skin conditions like eczema and dry skin. Try their medically supervised fat dissolving services for targeted areas like the abdomen or chin. Ready to feel your best? Book your appointment today at practicalpurposesolutions.com or call 843-799-2210. Located at 2011 Second Loop Road, Suite A. Practical Purpose Solutions.
Are you tired of hearing strange noises coming from your car? Do you need to get your vehicle serviced but don't have time to do it yourself? Look no further than Tim's Auto Pro. Their highly skilled, certified technicians have years of experience and are equipped with the latest tools to get your car running like new again. They offer a variety of services from routine maintenance to major repairs at competitive prices. Don't let car problems stress you out any longer. Tim's Auto Pro, the only place to go. 2685 Peach Orchard Road in Dazzell or online at timsautopro.com.
This is Robbie Nally from CRW Insurance. Let's face it, insurance needs are typically not on your mind until the loss occurs. Don't wait for that severe storm or auto accident to determine if you have the right coverage. Let us help you prepare today for tomorrow's unexpected. Simply call 803-775-1168 or stop by our Sumter location at 25 East Calhoun Street or our Manning location at 117 South Brooks Street to discuss and review your current insurance needs.
Nothing says tradition like your hometown Piggly Wiggly. Take it from the pig. When it comes to value and freshness, you can't beat Piggly Wiggly. They've been bringing home the bacon for millions of American families for over 100 years. Today, they're one of the best known and best loved brands in America. Stop by your local Piggly Wiggly today and take home the freshest meats, vegetables, and produce, along with great deals on all your favorite brands. Each week, the pig features new specials, perfect for your tailgating parties and family mealtime.
Hello, everybody. This is Donnie Daniel with Daniel Wealth Management. Who is Daniel Wealth Management? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about us. At Daniel Wealth Management, we care and listen. We strive to protect, manage, and grow your future vision of life. We do this with character, integrity, and confidence as we seek to earn your trust and celebrate life's journeys together.
Securities and investment and advisory services offered through Osaic Wealth Incorporated. Member FINRA SIPC. Osaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth.
In the heart of South Carolina, where the spirit of celebration thrives, there's a place unlike any other. Mickey Finn's your one-stop party destination with 3 locations, Cashua Drive, Pamplico Highway, and their huge beverage warehouse on Dr. Johnny Bruce Road next to Buc-ee's. Step into a world of endless possibilities where the shelves are filled with the largest selection of beer, wine, and liquor, each bottle carrying its own story of flavor and enjoyment. Sign up today for Mickey Finn's customer rewards. Mickey Finn says, we drink all we can and sell the rest.
Ready for serious power? Lease a 2025 Toyota Tundra for just $350 a month or 1.99% APR at Florence Toyota. No money down, $45.20 due at signing, and get $2,000 in Tundra loyalty cash if you qualify. But hurry, this offer disappears April 30th. Find your Tundra today at 2300 West Palmetto Street in Florence or visit florencetoyota.com. Florence Toyota, we are just better. See dealer for details.
WOLH Florence and WDXY Sumter. It's game day in the Carolinas.
That's another one you got to do the drums.
Yeah, always.
Alex Van Halen was amazing. People don't give Alex Van Halen the due that he desperately deserves on drums.
I would agree.
But it is Game Day in the Carolinas. I'm Matt. He's Woody. 843-407-5812. Going to go off talk to Gamecock for life. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Oh, yeah. There we go. How are you?
I'm lost.
We all are.
Well, you need serious directions. I mean, we can try to guide you through. You headed to Florence?
I am. So, we were just doing all that talking off air.
Yeah. All that talking off air.
Completely blew my mind on that. I thought, well, what the hell? We just went into Van Halen. That was kind of rude.
Could have used
I was in the middle of a thought and don't know where the hell I am right now.
Well, that's all right. We sit there and say the same thing for about 2 hours every Saturday. You know, we started a thought.
Well, yeah, the minute the old NFL Today music hits.
Yeah, they're telling us to leave.
Huh?
Well, that was because I said I jumped in the truck. I didn't even hear. I wasn't listening to the show because I'm a good listener, and I turned the radio down, and I hadn't listened before. I just called in, did not know I called in on break. And I'm like, okay, here we go, Van Halen, Alex. What?
Yeah.
Strange. And then you say Game Day in the Carolinas. Oh, so you didn't get to say that on there, Matthew. See?
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember how you said good morning to me when I called?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was on air.
No, I actually have the discipline when the lights are on. It's just when the lights are off, my brain goes into, what planet is this?
Well, shoot, I ain't got nothing to talk about now. We done talked about it all during the break.
Well, no, not really. We can still repeat it. I mean, because Matt and I kind of go through what we're going to talk about typically.
We didn't ask you what you're looking for the spring game today.
Yeah, no rain. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope they all have a good time and don't get hurt.
Exactly.
100%. The only thing that I still worry about, and I have worried about for the past, ever, is that O-line. We got to have an O-line.
Yep.
Yeah.
I seen on Facebook yesterday. I don't know who it. I haven't heard it before because I haven't been listening to Phil at night, but. We got another Clowney coming in at defensive end.
Yeah, that'd be Demon, the cousin of Jadeveon, who started off at
they
Ole
are
Miss.
Cousins.
Yeah, they're cousins.
Well, you don't know how much of that is real and how much of that is fake news on Facebook. So,
well, yeah, that's true.
I seen it and I thought I ain't heard nothing about that. But
well, he's been to 2 or 3 schools. He spent time at Ole Miss. He spent time with Charlotte. And I think he might have had a cup of Gatorade at Louisville, but I don't know if he played a full season or if he was there part of the season. I'd have to go look at his bio to see, but he wasn't there long. I don't even think he even saw the field or anything. He might not even made it through practice. But now he's over at South Carolina, so we'll see.
Of course, Gamecock Nation jumped all over it saying, welcome aboard, nice to have another Clowney, but if he's already been to 3 schools, he must not be the same caliber as Jadeveon.
Well, out of high school now, he had offers from all over the place, except South Carolina. Clemson offered him. But he had some big-name schools after him back in the day.
How big would that have been?
Yeah, but he wound up going to Ole Miss.
Clemson getting a cousin of Jadeveon.
I'll have to look it up and see real quick. Well, I mean, it's not uncommon. I mean, you see it happen.
But did he get the Spurs up yet? Because that's the only way you know it's official.
He is not. I've not seen the Spurs up from anybody.
Have not. But as bad as Jadeveon owned Clemson, I don't know who would have been more upset, Carolina or Clemson fans bringing a Clowney in.
Well, if you can't,
Carolina been mad that he went to Clemson. Clemson be mad because they actually brought, the boogeyman.
Well, the ultimate irony would have been him at Michigan.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
What is it? If you can't beat him, get his cousin?
Yeah. That guy from Michigan, he's still looking for his helmet.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I think so. Now, they're staying that it's he signed with South Carolina. So that's from Saturdays Down South. Everybody's got him on there, 247 Sports. I'm trying to find he didn't really have a bio page like his cousin on Wikipedia or anything, but he's fourth program for Clowney. He originally signed with Ole Miss out of the class of 2020, spent 3 seasons with the program with 10 tackles and 3 tackles for loss. In 23, he went to Charlotte, where he played for 2 seasons under Biff Poggi.
Biff Poggi, yeah.
Poggi. That was his former high school coach in Baltimore. Had a better career there. He re-entered the portal landing at Louisville, but in March he was right back in the portal and then joined the Gamecocks.
So he's going to come in here for 1 year.
Yep. He's got some in-game experience. I mean, he obviously played at Ole Miss. I mean, he spent 3 seasons, but obviously didn't see the field a lot or just was not productive. In 3 seasons, you get 10 tackles and 3 for a loss. That's not a lot of time.
Yeah, well, as I said, with all the hype that I seen on Facebook about it, I thought, oh, cool.
Well, now, at Charlotte, he had, in a season there, he had 33 tackles with 4 tackles for loss. No, I'm sorry, he had 2 seasons. And then in 2024, he had 26 tackles with 6 tackles for loss. So, not terrible, but, if he'd been that good leaving Ole Miss, you'd have thought South Carolina would have tried to pick him up back then before he went to Charlotte.
That's kind of what I was thinking. But we'll take them all. I wish it was some more offense. Like I said, I guess it was on break. I don't know. You guys got me so screwed up. But the O-line, that's my biggest concern is the O-line.
Yeah. That's kind of what I said.
I'm worried about Lenoris. I don't want him to, even though he can scramble and get out of most anything they put, just don't want that to be his life. Don't want him running for his life every game.
Well, I need to level set for a lot of the fans out there for South Carolina. Go ahead and tell you now, don't be surprised if Lenoris Sellers doesn't have a few hiccups this season. All these college coaches now have all got tape on him. They're going to be gunning for him. They might have a little bit better idea how to contain or maybe an approach to try to contain him. So we'll see. I mean, this will be kind of, to me, a telling season for Lenoris.
And that's where I say we need more offensive line because that part will throw their game off.
There you go. You're right about that.
I don't want to see that boy get hurt. I want to see him go on and do great and glorious things.
Me too.
He's such a good kid.
Yep. Me too. So.
And as I said, Rockingham next weekend. I hope everybody's on board and at least if they're not driving up to Rockingham, at least I hope they all watch it on TV because I think it's great for the area, great for the sport, great for me. I love Rockingham.
Yeah, I do too. I might have to try to go back at some point in time and catch a race there.
At the very least, it's good to see the trucks and Xfinity back at Rockingham. I mean, if that's as far as they go, it's as far as they go. But it's just great to see that we're finally getting back and showing some love and respect to tracks that really help build the sport. Yeah, to be
right. Tracks that mean something, unlike California or I don't know.
Yeah,
I hate all that they moved everything out west and took it from the roots. I said it when they did it; it was a mistake. But above our pay grade.
Apparently not. Most of us had more sense than they did.
But anyways, again, Woody, it was good to meet you last week. One of these days, we're going to get Matt out and about and do meet and greets and stuff because
they can't afford my fee.
Well, I was going to say eventually somebody's going to come up with the bag of cash and get Matt out there. I'm telling you,
it's all money.
Well, if you're talking about a bag of cash, I guess I'm out. If I have a bag of cash, you two are going to be the last two people on my mind.
Great.
No, I'm like the now former Tennessee quarterback. You know, it's at least $4 million for me to come out and even practice. So.
You know, sometimes I've often said, you know, when you watch the commercials for the Capital One guy, and they say, "So what's life like outside of the bank?" And he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
That's kind of how I see Matt, because I don't know him personally, but it just seems like you are always there.
Yes, I am actually. Tomorrow, I have a rare day off tomorrow. Believe it or not.
And when Matt's not there on this station, you're on Frank, and you're on.
Yeah, I'm on
Star.
The
Hog.
Yeah, I'm on Star, I'm on Hog, and I'm on Cat.
Yep. And
both
running his own podcast too, by the way.
Well, I'm on both Cats.
Oh, really?
I'm on the Cat in Florence, and I'm on the Cat in Orangeburg too. I do lunchtime on Orangeburg.
Jeez.
Well, one thing's for sure, listen to any of these stations, you never have to wonder if you're going to hear Matt, because he's everywhere.
Well, especially on the weekend, because I'm the weather guy too.
Yep.
and the Florence or PD Sales or Florence Sales or whatever that is.
Florence or Carolina Saves.
I'd say Matt Jordan is becoming the new modern day Tom Kiner to Florence, South Carolina.
There you go.
Sadly, yes, but I'm not as handsomely paid as Tom Kiner is, or was, I should say.
Yep. All right, boys. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy the show. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll talk at you next week.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, sir.
I might give you a call and an update from Rockingham while we're there.
That would work too.
I'd love to. Yeah, we'd love to hear that.
Okay, we'll see y'all later.
All right, man.
All right, thanks, sir. All right, thank you. Gamecock for life right there. 843-407-5812. You know we have them. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to tell you, we're jumping back. If we wanted to jump back toward that topic with Tennessee, this is kind of odd. This was brought up on a post that I had forgotten about. You remember last year, the Tennessee Attorney General sued the NCAA.
Yes.
Because the NCAA was coming after Tennessee, citing about the recruitment being scrutinized for Nico Iamaleava.
Oh, that's right. I had totally forgotten about that.
He actually won and got an injunction against the NCAA. Surprise, surprise, they lost in a court of law.
Yeah.
But
NCAA's what?
He was literally on the very cusp of being declared ineligible as a player. And Tennessee stepped up and helped him. And now, a year later, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Thank you. F you. Goodbye.
Where's my money?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gone. Or Dad's going to shop me behind your back.
Gratefulness.
And just a one point of note, too, there's only one top 8 quarterback in the 2023 recruiting class that has not entered the transfer portal.
Wow.
One, and that is Arch Manning.
Well, he's got a job for life there. He's not even going to be there 2 years. He'll be in the NFL draft next year. And don't you know, Woody, he's going to be the number 1 overall pick next year.
Hadn't played, but
Forget this draft. We know who the number 1 pick is next year because Mel Kiper Jr. has already, come down from the heavens
with his hair helmet
and has pronounced to us all that Arch Manning will be the number 1 overall pick next year. Never mind the fact he's never started a game at Texas.
That's crazy. He's probably already a Heisman.
Oh, he is. He's the favorite.
My gosh.
He's the Vegas favorite to win the Heisman.
And
if you don't believe me, go look it up.
And it was right, too, by the way. Nico cannot transfer to an SEC school and play, nor can Tennessee bring in a quarterback from the SEC and have them eligible either. So it works both ways.
Duke suddenly got nervous.
Yeah.
Good luck, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Hey, we have a Masters update that's about to play. And I'll tell you, all the big names that missed the cut. And maybe are...
It's been a great 2 rounds.
Yes, it has. And when we get to our Idiot of the Week, we'll tell you somebody who's never going to be allowed to return.
We hope.
Banned for life at this point. Back in a minute.
From From the Augusta National Golf Club, Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the Masters. I'm Ted Emmerich. It is a familiar position for Justin Rose, leading the Masters after 36 holes. He's done it twice before, once as an up-and-comer in 2004 and again as a vet just 4 years ago. Rose back in the driver's seat entering the weekend. Not that he's figured the course out in his 20th career Masters.
If there was a secret recipe, you'd know it by now. But, it's about just playing great golf, and I think the leaderboard's stacking up very favorably for what looks like world-class players right up there. So you're going to have to play great golf. You're going to have to go out there and want it and go for it and get after it. So it's as simple as that, really.
Now, 6 of the top 11 players on the leaderboard are major champions. Rose, one of them. He could become the oldest first-time Masters champion at 44. But, of course, a long way to go. Rose 8 under with a one-shot lead over Bryson DeChambeau. They tee off at 2:40 Eastern. You're listening to coverage of the 2025 Masters on Westwood One.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every day when we're on the road, people around us endanger themselves and others by looking at their phones while driving. There's the sneak-a-peeker who darts their eyes between the road and their texts, or the nightlighter who illuminates their car after dark. If that's you, reconsider before you find yourself becoming the fender-benderer, the got-a-ticketer, or worst of all, the driver who killed someone. Put the phone away, or pay. Paid for by NHTSA.
Third round underway at the 89th Masters, and a few past Masters champions who made the cut on the number are out early. Jon Rahm birdies the first 3 holes to reach 1 under now. He's 7 off the lead. The first 2 days, Rahm had 3 birdies combined. Zach Johnson drains a 40-foot eagle putt at 2 to move to even par. Jordan Spieth, the Masters champ a decade ago, has parred the first 6 holes to remain at +2. Justin Rose leads at 8 under. Bryson DeChambeau in solo second at 7 under. They're 3.5 hours from teeing off. Rory McIlroy hopes to keep the foot on the accelerator after his 66 on Friday. McIlroy is 6 under, 2 back with Corey Connors. McIlroy trying to finish out the final leg of the career Grand Slam. Scotty Scheffler 5 under, 3 back. From Augusta, I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
Hey, it's Tony Zach with Mr. Sparky, America's on-time electrician. When was the last time you had your home's electrical system inspected? How old is your electrical system? Is it time for an upgrade? For a limited time, Mr. Sparky is offering electrical panel inspections for $49. It's a great time to have it checked out. Call the pros. Call us or book online. Mr. Sparky, we'll be right over.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Your new Chevrolet from Jones Chevrolet comes with our exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Now that's peace of mind. Jones Chevrolet offers their extraordinary 20-year, 200,000-mile powertrain warranty on your new Chevrolet at no cost to you. Plus, at Jones Chevrolet, you won't pay a dealer fee, saving you even more. See us online at JonesChevy.com or hurry in to Jones Chevrolet in Sumter. More car, less money, guaranteed. Dismiss commercial Corvettes and Civic Rush Camaros do not apply. Non-transferable. See dealer for details.
One of them is banned from every message board in the world. The other is Woody. It's game day in the Carolinas.
Again. Some are hit, some are miss.
No, I like that one.
I got no problem with that.
Yeah, well, how can you go wrong with the Temptations?
No, you can't.
There you go. It's Game Day in the Carolinas. I'm Matt. He's Woody. 843-407-5812. That is the number as we get a phone call. And after the phone call, we'll tell you the big names that missed the cut at the Masters. But we're going to go up to the phones. Good morning. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I heard there's some cheating going on out there at the Masters.
Cheating, you say?
How's that?
They said that one of Scotty Scheffler's shots went out and they know it's bouncing out.
I didn't.
I've heard. Yeah, I've heard
you bounced. I don't know if it's your phone or what, but
your
You heard one of Scotty Scheffler's shots did what?
They said everybody watched his ball go way out left, but then they found his ball right beside a bush. They said there's no way that's his ball. I played some golf with people like that.
No, I don't think it was that. I mean, they found it under a magnolia tree. They've got a famous picture of him sitting on his rear end. He all but hit it from a kneeling position, I think, just to punch it back out to finish the round. It was on 18. But, I mean, it's possible if it went in there and bounced around, it could go carry him off of a tree. I mean, I've played with guys like that. They spent more time bouncing it off the rocks and trees and stuff than they did with it on the fairway. So
you got to make sure you got to feed the monkeys. That way the ball bounces back into the fairway.
I guess so. I guess so.
Hey, sometimes those squirrels can help you out, man.
You take what you can get, man.
Couple things. First, Paul Mainieri, you think he's going to pull a Steve Spurrier and quit in the middle of the season?
Nah.
No.
You're in good hands with Mainieri. I know it don't look like it right now. I'd give him. I would use this year almost as a pass.
They don't have anything in the tool chest at all, really.
Yeah.
They got no pitching. I mean, I watched one inning of the A&M game, and the guy walked the bases loaded, then he hit the next guy in the elbow, then the guy hit a grand slam. I mean, it's like.
That's how you lose 17-0.
Yep.
That's what the score yesterday, wasn't it?
Yep. Pretty ugly.
I'm talking about they was up 3-1 on Thursday night's game.
Yep.
And the guy walked the bases loaded, then hit the next guy, and then the guy hit a grand slam right after that.
But which makes me ask this question real quick. Does anybody know why they're playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week? I know why they're doing it next week because it's Easter weekend and nobody plays on Easter. But
I'm not sure. But I want to say A&M always has a weird schedule with some of their Or they're playing
No, they're playing on A&M this week.
A&M.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. They play some funny schedules.
I thought I'd ask that question because I just didn't know. Because like I said, next weekend, it's obvious. I mean, you know, it's Easter Sunday, and I think the SEC's got a rule that nobody plays on Easter Sunday. So. Well,
I thought after playing Arkansas and Tennessee, getting swept by them, that they would play a lot. Their schedule for the next month is a lot easier than it was the first month. But it looks like no matter who they play, if they play in the SEC, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
That's just the way it looks.
I hate to say this, but this team looks eerily familiar to last year.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it's what's left. And you brought a few pieces in from, Clemson and other places, but, still.
And I'll say this too. I think the transfer portal has it's given more unfair expectations on coaches. Because not everybody's Deion Sanders and is going to flush 50 players in the transfer portal. Never mind but I still think, give Mainieri another at least 2 years, and he'll have that team turned around.
I'd expect it to be turned around next season.
Yeah.
Just the way
Good question is, he's pretty much got the same players that the guy had last year, but he's doing less than what the guy did last year with the same people.
There's a lot of new faces on that team. It's not the same people. You go back, there were articles written about that before the season ever started, that how there was a couple of familiar faces, but overall there's a big upheaval on that team. There's a lot of kids that aren't playing back on that squad. So, and especially on the mound.
Well, the number of injuries are down at least.
Well, it just kind of makes you wonder with the pitching, because one or two of those guys in the rotation, have played injured or been injured the last couple seasons. Why are they still there? Because they haven't. I can't remember the starter's name, but he hadn't played in like 3 seasons. He got a little bit of mound time and has been injured the last 2. And you're like, why are we still sticking with this guy? He must have some crazy stuff we can't live without, and apparently not. Because there's not one star on that rotation.
No, there's not. Next thing, change subject just a minute. With the women's basketball, Fu Wiley getting into the transfer portal, what do you think that's all about?
I think it's a personality conflict. I mean,
between her and Staley?
I do. She was played well early part of the tournament. But then as the tournament went on, she started making some lazy mistakes. You're getting picked. She had a bunch of turnovers, things like that. And Dawn's not going to tolerate that. So when she came off the court and took her out the game, they had a conversation, and brief words were exchanged, and she stayed to the back of the bench the rest of the time, and you really didn't see a whole lot of her. I think it's Dawn Staley. You can argue if she's a good coach or not. We'll have that discussion to the end to the sunsets today, and still not come up with an answer. But she is a blunt person. She tells you what she thinks. She says it the way she wants to say it. She has no fear. And some of these young players that are a little more entitled don't know how to handle that. They're actually getting coached hard.
I just think Wiley has been very inconsistent. When she's good, she's really good.
Yep.
But when she's off, she throws the ball away. She can't hit the broadside of a barn, and she's just inconsistent. And with the players they got coming in, the girls they bring in from Florida State, to make up for her.
She's a leading scorer in the country.
Averages 25 points a game, and all they need now is find a post player. And I believe they tested Johnson. They'll be fine, I believe, without Wiley. She was like getting a lot of attention from the media. But I watched White Man Can't Jump many years ago, and Woody Harrelson had this one line, said, "You rather look look pretty and lose, and I had rather look ugly and win." So and then I think she got to look pretty and lose than to look ugly and win. The W is what it's all about.
Well, you look at the teams that are winning and that play well. You've got the one typically one designated person. You could definitely see it on UConn. I said this a couple weeks ago. Chin, the point guard, she's a general. She runs the court like she's the quarterback. She's in control. She calms them down. She keeps them on task. They run the play. They set up. They don't do stupid things and make stupid mistakes. You could see the same thing lacking in the women's team and the men's team at South Carolina in basketball. You start looking around the league, though, and look at the overall. When's the last time you've seen so many passes thrown away errantly by a basketball team?
No, you're right.
Not just South Carolina, but all over the board.
All over the board.
Ball handling and control and passing are lost arts.
Let's also be blunt. South Carolina out-talented 90% of the teams they played.
Yeah.
And you could tell something was missing only in about 5 games. And what happened in those 5 games again?
Yeah, got blown out.
Yeah.
And one other thing, when they're playing in a lot of these development leagues, what's it called? They're playing the off-season ball when they're not at their school.
Like AAU.
AAU ball and stuff.
That's
when they're
ball.
out there and these coaches are coming to watch these kids play, I can promise you right now, there's not a lot of ball movement.
No, it's street ball.
Whoever gets it takes it. It's make it, take it. That's what it looks like. Because they'll take it from one end of the court to the other and never pass it, never look the other way.
If I was a betting man, I'd put money that she's headed to LSU.
I would. You know what? I wouldn't take that bet.
Where do you think she's going?
LSU.
You do think she's going to LSU?
That's why I said I wouldn't take the bet, because I got a good feeling that's probably where she'll end up. Either LSU.
Because Jim Mulkey is going to let her be her. She's going to start her. She's going to let her do her thing.
I could see her going to UCLA. It's probably the only other place.
Well, I can tell you this. She's a good player, but she is not going to beat any team on her own.
No, she's already proven that.
I don't get that. I hate it that they're losing her. But I think she was also, with the talent they're bringing in, she was probably lost in that shuffle. She wanted to start. She wanted to spotlight.
But you kind of knew the writing was on the wall when they brought in, what's her name, from Florida State.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You start bringing in that kind of firepower, your time's limited.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think Pow was a great player, but I just don't think she was really a point guard.
No, she's a shooter.
And one other thing, in the WNBA. Raven decided to stay, and then Wiley decided to leave. I wonder if the two have anything to do with each other.
I wouldn't think so. I really think it's a matter of fitment as far as who's going to be a fit for them. Raven, I think,
she's going to be the player of the year next year.
She'll be a great player for the team, and she'll show out well. And what they're adding the players they're adding will just enhance that, I think.
Yeah. But anyway, and it's amazing that we're sitting here talking about women's college basketball.
Well, it was intriguing this year.
On the day of the spring game, too.
It's always intriguing.
What time is that? Now, that'll be my last thing today.
I don't even know.
I don't even.
It's usually early afternoon.
Yeah, I think
it's good. They said it was like a 7 o'clock.
What?
Game.
I thought they used to play it at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
That might be because of the Masters.
Under the light. Yeah.
Because I do remember Beamer said, now, by the way, it won't be on TV. just to let you know.
It will. You just got to set your DVR
it's
when it does come on.
Actually, it was last night.
7:30.
April 18th. So it's next Friday.
April 18th at 7:30.
I thought today was the...
It's usually played during the Masters.
Yeah.
Because I always watch the replay.
So there you go. We find ourselves in a situation this morning. Usually it is Masters
Nothing
week.
unusual.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for those of us who don't know what day it is half the time
exactly.
anyway, so.
Hey, but guys, y'all have a great weekend. Enjoy the show.
You
Thanks,
too.
Lee.
Thanks, Lee.
All right. Got time for maybe one more phone call. 843-407-5812, 843-407-5812. Yeah, it's next Friday. Because I remember Shane was talking about during one of the press conferences, we can't get this right because it's either during the Masters or it's during RBC Heritage, which, by the way, RBC Heritage is next week.
I love that. That's a great tournament, too.
Put your tartan on. And by the way, anybody from the RBC Heritage listening, we'll be more than happy to wear tartan next week and go down there and enjoy a nice Charleston Sunday afternoon or Saturday afternoon.
Hilton Head, but yeah, I'd love to go back.
Well, I mean,
it's been years since I've been down there. I saw it years ago.
Hilton Head, Isle of Palm,
Yeah.
It's everywhere. Can we go as long as we can go hit the golf ball in the water.
Yeah, it's been so long. Actually, Greg Norman was still playing actively when I went to my first Heritage show. It was the MCI Heritage Classic that year.
That should tell you how long it is too.
And that was just the follow-up tournament where Norman dropped the 7-stroke lead at the Masters.
Yep.
To lose it. I was at the follow-up tournament to that, and you couldn't get within 2 miles of that guy.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it one bit. I do like it because it's unlike the Waste Management Open, but it's kind of like the Waste Management Open.
It's not as rowdy.
I'll say this. You know what and I'm dead serious when I say this. You really want to know what it is, what I compare it to? Because you and I both went to college. It's the week after finals.
Yeah.
What are you doing the week after? You just blowing it out the week after the finals, man. I'll tell you that much. I know I was.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, we need to get to another Masters update. We just had one, 10 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Westwood One does that. We didn't even give you the big names but I'll give you one name that missed the cut and will never come back again.
Yeah, well, notable names: Dustin Johnson, Keegan Bradley, Mike Weir, former winner Tony Finau, Sergio Garcia. We knew Freddie.
Phil
Mickelson, Billy Horschel. Billy been playing with Brooks Koepka. Another one.
These are all guys that missed the cut, by the way.
Yeah. Olazabal, still playing some.
Yeah.
Lucas Glover.
G-Lover.
Zalatoris. Maybe some people making an argument. And a guy named Nick Dunlap. And why is Nick Dunlap important? Well, Nick Dunlap posted a 19 over 90 on Thursday's first round. He came back 18 strokes yesterday and still didn't make the cut. But played his tail off, though.
Real quick, because we got like a minute here before we get out of here. Tell the story.
Which one?
The Dunlap story. About the golf balls?
Yeah, he asked him what he did to post such a good round between Thursday and Friday, and he said he wasn't sure. He hit about 90 balls at his Airbnb where he's staying into the woods. He wasn't sure if there was a house back there or not, but that's what he did. Hit 3 baskets of golf balls into the woods from the grass in the backyard of his Airbnb.
Imagine the cleanup field.
And dropped 19 strokes. That's a record on the course there.
But still finished in
still
dead
didn't
last.
make the cut.
All right. Back in a minute.
From the Augusta National Golf Club, Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the Masters. I'm Ted Emmerich. Comebacks do happen over the weekend at Augusta National, but not from too far back. All but 2 of the last 26 Masters champions have been within 4 shots of the lead after 2 rounds. Colin Morikawa realizes that, but the 2-time major winner isn't giving up hope. At 3 under, he's 5 off the lead.
I wish, I was a little close to the lead or in the lead, but yeah, it's nice. I feel like I've gotten a lot out of these 2 rounds in a good way. I feel like I've let some squirrely shots go, but look, it's right there. I've shot, I don't know what my lowest round is here, 4 or 5 under maybe, but that's what it's going to take for me to give myself a good chance on Sunday.
Yeah, Morikawa's best round at the Masters was a 5 under 67 in the final round of 2022. He was 5th that year. Morikawa tees off in about an hour and a half alongside 2018 Masters champion Patrick Reed, both 3 under. Justin Rose leads at 8 under. You're listening to coverage of the 2025 Masters on Westwood One.
Remembering great moments in golf history, sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen, made for your brain. 1975, the year that Jack Nicklaus earned his 5th green jacket. The Golden Bear finished 1 shot ahead of Johnny Miller and Tom Weiskopf in what's considered one of the greatest majors in history. In addition to the thrilling finish, Lee Elder became the first African-American golfer to compete in the Masters. With this great moment in golf history, I'm Scott Graham.
Harbor Freight knows time is money, so for our Spring Black Friday sale, we're getting straight to the deals. Right now, you get 35% off jack stands, 56-inch roll cabs under $800, and 2,300 PSI electric pressure washers under $190. See? Straight to the point, so you can get straight to the savings. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight. Valid until April 13th, 2025, while supplies last. Limitations apply.
Another postcard day at Augusta National for the 3rd round. 62 degrees, just a few clouds in the sky, and lighter winds than yesterday. Could be a low-scoring day. Let's check the leaderboard, sponsored by Prevagen. Prevagen, made for your brain. Justin Rose on top at 8 under par. Bryson DeChambeau at 7 under. They're in the last group. They tee off at 2:40 Eastern, about 3 hours from now. Rory McIlroy, Corey Connors in the penultimate group at 6 under. Matt McCarty, Shane Lowry, Scotty Scheffler, the defending champion, and Tyrrell Hatton all at 5 under. Scheffler was on the range until they turned the lights on after his 2nd round. John Rahm birdied the first 3 holes before a bogey at 5. Rahm is even par 8 back. Jordan Spieth, a birdie at 8 after 7 consecutive pars. Spieth +1. From Augusta, I'm Ted Emmerich, Westwood One Sports.
I'm here with Coach Carter, who just won a game against their biggest rivals. Tell us how you're feeling, Coach.
I'm feeling great. This was a huge win for us tonight, and we couldn't have done it without every single member of the team. It's kind of like FTC's roster of services. Now there's a winning lineup. From internet and wireless to phone, security, and TV, these team players all play a critical role in making FTC your all-in-one technology company.
Now that sounds like a winning combination. Get in the game with FTC, your all-in-one technology company. Stop by a local FTC store or visit ftc.net.
In the heart of South Carolina, where the spirit of celebration thrives, there's a place unlike any other. Mickey Finn's your one-stop party destination with 3 locations, Cashua Drive, Pamplico Highway, and their huge beverage warehouse on Dr. Johnny Bruce Road next to Buc-ee's. Step into a world of endless possibilities, where the shelves are filled with the largest selection of beer, wine, and liquor, each bottle carrying its own story of flavor and enjoyment. Sign up today for Mickey Finn's customer rewards. Mickey Finn says, we drink all we can and sell the rest.
All right, it is that time.
Yes, the Idiot of the Week brought to you by Men with Shirts, Mr. Rob Weiland. Give him a call at 843-260-1105. Check out his Facebook page or his website, menwithshirts.com. He can save you money. He's a small businessman's friend. If you just need a couple shirts done with your logo, which he can help create and design, put it on a hat, a cup, a koozie, T-shirt, whatever you need, keychain even, he can do it. And I promise you he can save you money. So give him a call. His name is Rob Weiland. He's a really nice guy. You'll enjoy talking to him. 843-260-1105. He is the official T-shirt outfitter of
Gameday
in the Carolinas.
Yep. You want to go first or?
Sure.
Why not?
My Idiot of the Week is Lily Stewart. She's a 20-year-old University of Georgia student. She's with the Alpha Chi Omega sorority. She's been arrested 2nd time in a month. And why is she famous? It's because she gave a Glamour Shots type grin or photo in her mug shot. She got arrested after speeding the first time. She got caught speeding for like 88 and a 55, or 84 and a 55. leaves there, not 2 minutes down the road, gets pulled again for over 80 in a 55, is promptly taken to jail.
She on the Georgia football team?
No, because she was fined over $400 for her speeding ticket there, and basically the whole thing was dropped.
Didn't have a coupon.
Now she's been arrested again for avoiding a responding officer when she broke into a closed or locked building on the campus at the university. And she's posted another viral I'm a glamour girl type mugshot. You'll have to look it up and take a look at it. But she's my idiot because she, I think, wants to be the next Hawk Tuah girl. This, to me, is almost a cry out for help because this has got to be some form of mental illness.
Yeah.
I mean, you just don't, normal people just don't
arrogance.
act that way.
Arrogance.
But she's gotten a lot of fame for her first mugshot. Now she's carrying on about the second one. So look for a third one this week.
Well, we're staying in the state of Georgia for mine. We're going back to the Masters. And one of the guys who missed the cut is my idiot of the week. Yeah, you probably already know Jose Luis Ballester on Thursday during the first round on the 13th hole. When you got to go, you got to go. And he had to go. Problem is, the location where he decided to go was Rays Creek. Yeah, he decided to go down to the tributary and relieve himself in Rays Creek and came very dangerously close of performing a felony, by the way.
Yeah. People get put on lists for that.
Yeah, you do. You get put on lists for what he did. He has apologized to Augusta, but I hope you enjoyed your 2 rounds, Mr. Ballester, because you ain't coming back. For Woody, I'm Matt. See you next week.
From the Augusta National Golf Club, Westwood One Sports presents this special report on the Masters. I'm Ted Emmerich. It is a familiar position for Justin Rose, leading the Masters after 36 holes. He's done it twice before, once as an up-and-comer in 2004 and again as a vet just 4 years ago. Rose back in the driver's seat entering the weekend. Not that he's figured the course out in his 20th career Masters.
If it was a secret recipe, you'd know it by now. But, it's about just playing great golf and